on this beautiful Saturday. What is it, February 25th? Woof. Where has time gone? Where have all the flowers gone? Where has all the time gone? Long time passing. Cheers. I'm drinking a little pineapple seltzer here for the spirit of where I am. So how's everyone doing today, all right? Where's all my folks from across the pond? They're rushing to get on the train to get here, get on the airplane, get on their computer, get on their cell phone to watch Coffee with Cannon, Backyard Beverage Bitchin' with Bill. Ruth Ann Griffin, there she is. Hello, Ruth Ann. Are those little alligators you got in your emoji there? Haley, hey, Sarge from the UK. Good to see you from the UK. Beautiful. The UK is the best. Hi, everyone. Haley, good to see you. Mickey Mantle is in the house. Wild Z Pony, cheers, Supreme Commander. I still love once in a while getting called the Supreme Commander. Culture of Ghosts. Hi, Bill. Colleen Howard, hello. Island Girl. Island Girl, that was a song by Elton John. Help me, Rhonda. 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 Yeah, get her out of my heart. Tucson, Arizona. Cindy Wigglesworth. That's a great name. Patricia Ascanani. Do you recommend living in Florida, sir? Look, for me, I love it. I don't know what you love. If you like skiing and cold weather, then Florida's not the place. If you like the ocean, warm weather and beautiful breezes, beautiful ocean, beautiful boats, watching them go by, cool nights. It's a place. But again, I'm not here during the months that are really ridiculously hot, which is May, June, July, August. Then you might have a different story with Florida. There's probably folks on here that live in Florida year-round, and I understand the off-season months, which they would call, June, July, August, September, maybe even May, June, July, August. Island Girl, 21, Jupiter is beautiful. Debbie Johnson, I love Florida. It's beautiful and cold here in Washington. Someone was telling me, I talked to my buddy today who just became a grandfather for the third time. He's way ahead of me. He's 3 ahead of me. Char, how are you? Good to see you. He told me it was 29 there today. So it's 29 degrees in New York, but in Florida here it's 83 degrees. So it's beautiful. Snowing in Maryland. Yeah, it's again, if you like this beautiful weather, this is the place to be. So I decided to do the show on the deck today because it's quiet today. Hopefully it's quiet on a Saturday. I don't want to jinx myself. Next thing I'll hear is lawnmowers and blowers. Culture of Ghosts, UK is really cold. Manchester, New Hampshire, 18 in Washington, cold and sunny. Janine Dove. So guys, overnight, a couple of things happened, okay? I'm gonna, tonight at 8 p.m., I'm gonna go on the air with Mike Geary, who we all know Professor Mike is a fan favorite. Wild Z Ponies eating oranges straight out of the fields. You can't get fresher than that, right? There's always fresh fruit in Florida, which I love. Pineapple, blueberries, and we don't seem like we get the same thing up north. Anyway, so tonight at 8 p.m., myself and Professor Mike Geary, who is also an attorney, we're going to go over the Alec Murdaugh testimony. And it's, that's one of these trials that, and I'm not going to go over everything today because I don't want to ruin it for tonight. But there was, it's unusual, and I find that when I tell the audience that it's unusual for, in a murder case, for the defendant to testify. Some of you guys were a little surprised. Wild Z Pony says, I love Professor Geary. We all love Mike Geary. He's low key. He's like, Mike Geary. Low key. That was the old signal. Take it easy. Take it easy. Don't make waves. That was the other one. Don't make waves. I love that. Mystique, how are you? Good to see you. So we're going to discuss Alec Murdaugh's testimony. And one of the things that you have to realize, and I don't want to give away all the things we're going to discuss this evening, the things you have to realize is that he's an attorney. And he knows how to ask questions, and he knows how to testify. He knows how to create doubt. One of the things, and I'll mention it now, but I'll mention it tonight, one of the key things that you'll notice when someone's trying to be deceptive, and you guys know this too, I'm not, uncovering some genius technique in questioning and answers, but when someone repeats the question, why do they do that, right? For example, Mr. Murdaugh, why did you not tell the police what you're telling in court today about being at the kennels? His answer, why didn't I tell the police what I'm telling today about being at the kennels? To me, that's a complete sign of deception, because the person is repeating the question in an attempt to buy time so they can think of their answer. And that is, investigation 101. And I think that the prosecutor, he should have stopped him from doing that, because he was doing it all the time. He was repeating the question, and just say, don't repeat the question, just answer it, But it seemed like the prosecutor, Breaking Bad 2.0, killing at the kennels, it just seemed like the prosecutor was bending over backwards almost to be nice to him, maybe in front of the jury. But I think that he could have been a little more, biting and stronger, and maybe even yelled at him, because I think one of the other things that Murdaugh was trying to do was he was trying to portray himself, and maybe he is, and maybe he was, as a drug addicted person that was not thinking clearly. But it seemed to me, from what I was listening to, the trial was more about grand larceny than it was about the double murder. And that technique, I believe Murdaugh used to steer the questions away from the double, the stealing of 8 and the law firm. I think that was his, I think that was his technique. I think he was trying to get the jury's mind, yeah, I'm a big guy. I lie all the time. Yes, I lied then. And the prosecutor went through about 50, I'd say, 30 to 50 people. I didn't count them, that Alec Murdaugh had lied to during his little career at the law firm. And the prosecutor kept naming, did you lie to this person? Yes. Did you lie to that person? Yes. And, I guess he was trying to sort of grind it into the jury's head that this person doesn't know the truth from a lie. He lies every single day as a matter of doing business. So that's one of the things we're going to discuss tonight. And again, Mike Geary is much more astute at talking about this than I am. He's an attorney. He's a criminal justice professor. And we can all give our opinions, because all of us could one day be on a jury. And we all also live in this world. We know signs of deception, body language signs of deception, signs of telling the truth. William Buckles says, no one lies like an addict. Yeah, and I would love to know from someone in the medical profession, can someone take 60 oxycodone in one day without overdosing? He claimed that that's how many he took. I guess you would have to know the amount of milligrams, how powerful they were. But he claimed to have taken as many as 60 in one day. I mean, that is absolutely, a prescription drug addiction. There's no doubt in my mind. Yeah, that's an addiction, but is it possible to take that many and not overdose? I don't know. And I don't know if they questioned that amount of oxycodone that he took. So another thing, I'll just segue away from this for a second. Dr. Pamela Cholette, good to see you. Pablo Cicada, Bill, who is the best liar you ever encountered in your law enforcement career? I won't say a specific person, but I will say a type. The best liars that you ever encounter are liars who believe their lies themselves. They're tough to break because they can't tell the difference between the truth and lies. And when they believe their lies, how do you shake them? How do you shake them to what's the truth? Unless you can, through reason, show them that what you said is impossible. This happened, and this is why. And then they'd be like, well, I guess you're right. But they still believe their own lies. They're the most difficult to shake. Folks, this is Coffee with Cannon, Backyard Beverage, Bitching with Bill, Police Off the Cuff Real Crime Stories. There's 115 in the chat, 48 with the thumbs up. You're talking very specifically. We're going to get into more specifics tonight about the golf cart, how about when he was at the kennel? He was at the kennel, wasn't that around the exact time that Maggie and Paul were murdered? And, I didn't see the actual cross-examination about the blood stain, the spatter on his shirt, or the gunshot residue on his hands. I mean, I don't know how that's explained. How would a jury hear that and then think that, oh, he explained it away? How? How did he explain it away? But that's what, we've spoken a million times about what Wild Z Pony, she said, can't wait for tonight's show. I'm glad you guys are getting amped up for it. It's going to be a great show. When we talk about what the defense is trying to do, they're trying to create doubt. We said, remember that acronym BARD, beyond a reasonable doubt? And that's what they're trying to draw. And, you see some talking heads on TV and some people that are experienced attorneys saying that Alec Murdaugh did a great job of testifying. Because I think what he was trying to do when we talk about, creating doubt or creating a smokescreen and taking the attention off the double murders and put them on his larceny and the fact that, yeah, he lies all the time. He's a drug addict, and that's what drug addicts do. They lie all the time. So, that doesn't mean he killed his wife and his son. But you know what, one of the things too, guys, and we'll talk about this tonight too, what was the motive for killing his wife Maggie and his son Paul? Was there motive? Was there motive, guys? Yeah, there was. He was broke. Guess what the life insurance policy was on his wife Maggie? $12 million. $12 million. And his son Paul was getting sued for the boating accident in which, in an intoxicated condition, he killed a 19-year-old girl whose body wasn't found until 5 days later. And you talk about the influence of the Murdaugh family. The night of that boating accident, Paul Murdaugh was never put in handcuffs and arrested. He wasn't put in handcuffs and arrested. So I'm sure the Murdaughs had insurance. I don't know what the boat insurance covered, because surely the lawsuits for wrongful death would be probably in double figures, millions. A 19-year-old girl. He didn't have life insurance. Someone's saying in the chat he didn't have life insurance on Maggie and Paul, just Maggie. Yes, Maggie, $12 million. And apparently he was thinking that the stage when he, in fact, hired his pseudo cousin to shoot him. He also had like $12 million worth of life insurance on himself. So if we believe that he intended to get killed, that was supposed to be his son Buster was supposed to benefit from the life insurance on that. Wilesy Pony says the love of money is the root of all evil. Don't they always say that? Money is the root of all evil? But it makes life a hell of a lot easier though too. But yeah, it's ugly, right? It's really ugly. And when you mix money with power, right? With power and drug addiction and deceit and Magical Mary says there's no insurance on Maggie. The insurance you're telling me was on Paul. I believed it was on Maggie. Maybe I'd be wrong. Yes, folks, you know, his family was very influential. And he had a badge that he carried from the police department. And he was able to walk into the hospital after the boating accident. And he advised the folks that were on the boat that remember the 5 L's: love, lust, longing, lucre. Yeah, I remember all of that. It was actually the first time I'd heard it during the Idaho quadruple murder case of Ethan Chapin, Zaina Knodel, Madison Mogen, and Kaylee Gonsalves. That's the first time I had ever heard that. I believe the FBI was talking about that, but we street cops in New York City had never heard that before. Alana, hey, Mr. Bill, how are you? Good to see you. Guys, this is Police Off the Cuff Real Crime Stories. If you're not subscribed to us, go on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and ring that bell. Lou Morocco, Bandit Bill's Bodega and Beach Bungalows for rent, binoculars, body. Elisa K, from the looks of you, you're still in town. Yes, it's very beautiful here. And you know, some people get annoyed like I'm trying to tease the people that are up north. I'm not. I'm just enjoying life. And you can't hide that palm tree behind me, you know. Am I supposed to hide that when I do my show? I don't want to do that. Richella Pranzo, money is the root of all evil, well-known saying that suggests that the love of money or an excessive focus on it, yeah, can drive people to bad deeds, that's for sure. That's for sure. You know, and then mix in drugs with that. It's crazy. Sing Here Comes the Sun. Lula Morocco, good to see you. Good morning. Guys, I wanted to mention another thing, and I want to thank Wilesy Pony as well as a few other people that sent me the news story on this. 1122 King Street in Moscow, Idaho, and known as the house of the quadruple murders of Ethan Chapin, Zaina Knodel, Logan, and Kaylee Gonsalves, was given to Idaho University. And the university is going to demolish it after the spring semester. I had sort of predicted this early on in the investigation because usually any physical location, a house or a school or anything like that, not all the time, but a lot of the time, when a horrific crime is committed at a location, the location gets demolished. And an example of that is Sandy Hook Elementary School in Connecticut. You guys remember an active shooter went into that school and slaughtered 16 5-year-olds. It's almost unimaginable, you know. Slaughtered 16 5-year-olds as well as, I believe it was 4 adults. I think there was a total of 20 people executed by this crazed on-drugs gunman who had access to his mother's guns, which was just crazy. And that, my point of bringing this up, that school was demolished. They couldn't even think of, you know, what good could come out of it, of having that school open. They just, it had to be demolished. There's no way that couldn't. Mary Michael, thanks from, good to see. Guys, we had 172 in the chat. Now it's dropping back down. Make sure you give the thumbs up and you love this show, you know. So, and there's other locations. I would think that the school in Uvalde, Texas, it hasn't been decided. I don't see how you can reopen that school where kids were executed as law enforcement stood outside the door and did nothing. I think that's a building of shame besides a building of sorrow where all those young kids were executed. They mentioned another school where Jeffrey Dahmer had killed some of his victims. That was knocked down. So there's precedent for this, and you can understand why in, well, the exact address, 1122 King Road, that no one would ever want to live in that house again. And they also don't want it to be like this sort of money to evil and to murder. So I would, the owner of the house, I donated it to the school. I don't know the tax laws. Probably he can write that whole thing off if he owns multiple buildings, because he could never really sell it. Well, it's marked by that horrific event. So just a little footnote to that case that it's been decided. That was according to the Washington Post, an article in the Washington Post, and Jody Walker, who was a spokesperson for the University of Idaho, said that the home was given to the university by the owner, and the school plans to demolish the house by the end of the spring semester. Just so you guys know that. And, I think it's an important little part of hopefully closure to this case. The next thing that will obviously be the trial, hopefully the conviction of the person that did this, if in fact Brian Koberg is the person that did this. And we're all waiting on that case. The gag order has sort of, and here I started out talking about Alec Murdaugh, and here we are talking about the Idaho quadruple. The gag order has sort of cut down and cut back and not given the public or anyone else, the media, information on this case. Now, whether that's good or bad, they spoke about can the Idaho case, can they get an untainted jury in Moscow, Idaho? And my answer to that is, well, can they get an untainted jury anywhere? Because maybe people would expect, they're going to do a change of venue, or they're going to request a change of venue. But that case, the Idaho quadruple of Ethan Chapin, Zaina Knodel, Madison Mogen, and Kaylee Gonsalves, it became an international story. So where could they try it and find people that have never heard about the case? Is that a possibility? I don't think so. So then keep it in Moscow, Idaho. Keep it where the community is so wounded by this case, is so wounded by the loss of these 4 kids. And when I mention their names, I don't like to refer to them as the Idaho 4. I like to mention them by names. We think of their families, and that their families live with this every single day of the week, losing 2 20-year-olds and 2 21-year-olds. And no matter how much time goes by, this wound never healed. It will never, ever heal. You talk to anyone who has lost a child, and the child is always supposed to die before the parents. So you talk to anyone that has lost a child, and thank God I haven't experienced it, but they never get over it. It's an open wound for the rest of their life, It definitely is something that you just never get over. All right, so let's get back to that's what's going on with the Moscow, Idaho case. Kai, there's no date. They said after the spring semester. I would think they will do it without fanfare, without just one day. Bulldozers will show up with backloaders and knock the house down, dump it into a dumpster, and get rid of it. I don't think they wanted big publicity to it. But, As I said, it's very usual in cases like this where horrific crimes have occurred at a location that basically the building becomes like almost like cursed, you know, and who would ever want to live in there? And it's almost, you know, if you believe in God, you believe in religion, you almost think it's like it's possessed by something, you know, and you know, you could believe that or not believe that. But in any event, I think even people that aren't religious might say, yeah, it's probably a good idea to start over, knock that house down and start over. So that's what's going to happen. The owner, to recount what I've said, the owner of the building donated 1122 King Road, that's the house where the quadruple murders occurred, to the university. The university, after the spring semester, is going to have the house bulldozed, knocked down, and removed. And I don't even know if there'll be any marker or anything to memorialize what happened. They said there'll be a site on the University of Idaho campus that memorializes these 4 students, not on the site of the murders. So that's where they're at now. Let's get back to Alec Murdaugh. So again, yes, tonight, 8 o'clock, myself and Mike Geary are going to break the case down. And this video is lagging behind the sound. I apologize, guys. Is the video, excuse me, let's see, is the sound a little bit better now? I don't know, that's never happened before, but it's lagging behind a little bit. 146 in the chat, 99 with the thumbs up, guys. This is Police Off the Cuff, Real Crime Stories, Backyard Beverage, Bitchin' with Bill. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Nick Bella, Dawn Marie's in the house, Matty Boy Sully, Lieutenant Pete, Scott Perfecto. Watching your lips, the words don't match your lip moving. I don't know, guys. Could be something with the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi has slowed down. Should I end the cast, or is it okay? Is it livable? What do you think? Give me a 1 if you think I should end the broadcast, and 2 if you think it's I should continue. I'll do what you guys think is best, because I obviously can't hear what you're hearing. So I'm not seeing anyone vote. Scott Messersmith, Mr. Raven, they didn't want to make a, well, two. Okay, so it's okay. So you think I should continue? All right, I'll continue, guys. So again, tonight, 8 p.m., myself and Mike Geary are going to talk about the Alec Murdaugh case and about, you know, the law firm and the power of the Murdaugh family and where this case is at now. One of the things that I really, when watching him testify, I couldn't help but think, I mean, that expression I always, Pete says 5 by 5. Thanks, Lieutenant Pete, you're the best. I couldn't help but think, and I always think of this Professor Maki Haberfeld from John Jay College, Dr. Maki Haberfeld from John Jay College always says, a good prediction of future behavior is past behavior. So if you're a liar in the past, doesn't it make sense that you're going to be a liar in the future, or are you just going to start telling the truth in the future? And even though that's simple, a simple explanation, it holds a lot of truth. You know, they don't just, you know, start one day and that's the only lie they told. They lie all the time, you know. And to me, when I watch Alec Murdaugh and I watch his testimony, and you watch his body language, and you watch everything he says, I can't help but think someone's taken a poll. 1, if you think Murdaugh's guilty. 2, if he's innocent. Narcissists do not change. Yeah, so, I think it's people don't want to believe that he committed the double murder because they want to believe that he loved his wife, he loved his son, and how could he do something this horrendous? Uh, how could he kill his wife and his son? And they're not, people don't want to believe this, but, uh, I think you can tie the liar in and the grand larcenist in to someone who is so capable of committing a double murder, you know? So I don't see that, I don't know, there's a lot of people that just thinking they're buying his testimony and they're thinking he's very skilled. He's a very skilled, Loho, look at all these twos. You aren't getting out of here early. No, it's good all this. A lot of bad weather. He's a full pooper for 20 years. Yeah, he's, I don't also doubt that the Murdaugh family elicited so much power over that community. And not just Alec Murdaugh, the whole family that run that law firm. They were the go-to law firm in that part of South Carolina. They controlled that part of Carolina. Going back 100 years, you heard the title Solicitor General, right? That's our district attorney. The Solicitor General is the district attorney. It's just another word for it, another name for it down south. Anyone who's ever dealt with a narcissist, psychopathic sort of has an easier time. Yes, I think we've all dealt with liars, and we know that when people will say that guy's slippery, he's a slippery guy. He couldn't tell the truth of his life depended on it. And we meet people or we deal with people that are pathological liars. The first thing we want to do is get them out of life, right? We don't want any more dealings with them. This guy or this girl, they can lie all they want, but they're not going to lie to me because I want nothing to do with them. They can't tell the truth. And people that are dishonest, I don't want any dealings with them, right? Sometimes you have people in your own family who are dishonest. Is that, you're going to trust them ever again? He likes to pay others to do the dirty work. He has the cash for it. Yeah, well, what's that expression? Mike Geary said it the other day. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that's the truth, right? And when you have that type of power, and there's a lot of power in just having a lot of money, right? You can get things done for you. People will do things for you. People will do things for you because they think you're powerful. You have so much money. And money, in a lot of ways, does equal power. So Mr. Raven is saying it's a hung jury. You know something? No one can predict what a jury's going to do. Mr. Duty Ron's on the air. Duty Ron's joined the chat. Mr. Raven, you can buy off one juryman. Well, you know something? A lot of the evidence, they'll talk about circumstantial evidence and beyond a reasonable doubt, and the defense, their job is to create doubt, right? And Fox News just reported Alec Murdaugh just got new charges today. And what are those new charges? Down there, it's Marcello Pranzo doesn't believe Duty Ron's here. Duty Ron's a big fan of police off the cuff, coffee with Cannon. He wants to sit and have a cup of coffee and join the show and put his 2 cents in, I don't know if you guys watched the show the other night. I was on Duty Ron's show with the great Tiffany, who is an expert in electronics, and she really explained a lot about cell phone technology, tower dumps, Bluetooth, when a phone can hook up to that. And all of that stuff is really complicated. And we, the generation I'm in, and I won't say my age, but I'm sure you guys can look at my face and deduct Someone even called me Sergeant Pop a few months ago, which I will never adopt that name to, but I was like, oh, I'm starting to look a little old, huh? They're going to call me Sergeant Pop. So we weren't raised, we didn't go to school learning Microsoft Word because it didn't exist yet. We didn't go to school learning Windows and Apple and all of that stuff because it wasn't invented yet. Even when I see young people on their cell phones and, you know, them texting with two thumbs like they're on a typewriter, typing 160 words a minute, I'm just like, and I'm there like, oh, delete, back, frustration. And when I ask, how do you do this? How do you do that? And my sons get annoyed with me. Dad, you're the worst. They'll tell me something like, you posted the same thing on Instagram 3 times. And I'm like, all right, look, it's not that I did it on purpose. It's my computer and cell phone incompetence, you know? But I'm sure a lot of you guys are like me, that, you know, we weren't raised with the computer, and, you know, we're learning how to use, well, even some people my age, they're great at the cell phone, and they can do things that I don't know how to do it. Yeah, his name is very weird said and spelled 2 different words. Yeah, Murdaugh, it's spelled Murdaugh, but we were told, Phil Grimaldi and I started covering this 15 or 16 months ago when it occurred, that his last name is pronounced Murdaugh, as if it was spelled Murdock, almost like the New York Post owner, Rupert Murdoch. But his name is spelled Murdaugh, which you would think would be pronounced Murdaugh, but it's pronounced Murdoch. So, and his name is spelled Alex, Alex, but his first name is pronounced Alec, so it's Alec. So people get crazy with the way they spell their names, so they can spell it any way they want. And then, you know, my 6-year-olds help me with the electronic gizmos. Batty Boy Sally, yeah, well, my sons help me, but unfortunately, they're not around all the time when I need them. One's in Denver and one's in New York, so sometimes I'll call them up. The Wild Z Pony, the birds around here, you know what's crazy around here? In New York, people sort of treat squirrels like they're rats almost, you know. They don't keep them anywhere. Most people, some crazies don't feed the squirrels. Here in Florida, people feed the squirrels, and they feel like, you know, I noticed a lot of them underneath cars, and I'm like, I hope they're not chewing on the on the rubber parts of your car, because they've done that in other areas where squirrels start eating your hoses on your car. So all right, guys, I don't want to turn off anyone that loves squirrels. Squirrels are fine, but to me, they're also rats. And I acknowledge their right to exist, but I don't want them close to me. You know, one of the things too in Florida, it seems like so many people have dogs, and not that people don't have dogs up, up north, but there's a whole area of the beach where people bring their dogs, and they love bringing their dogs to the beach. And I'm not Obama. If you shave a squirrel, it looks just like a rat. Well, I'm never going to try that. So, but I agree. Someone said squirrels are cute and funny. Okay, all right. Look, we all have our opinion. Next thing you know, JetBlue will be allowing people to bring squirrels on the flights. You know, JetBlue lets people bring dogs, and I heard they had to pull back on their policy because someone actually brought a miniature pony on the plane, and you know what miniature ponies do a lot of, right? Miniature ponies make miniature pony on the plane, and people didn't find it amusing, you know. So JetBlue allows certain animals, all dogs, will bring their dogs as long as it's in the container. Dawn Marie, I thought that the person that got eaten by an alligator was here in Florida, wasn't it? Yeah, I heard about that. In fact, my brother had called me, and he said that he knew the lady, and she'd been from our town, or her family was from our town on Long Island. I want to get into a total discussion. While Z flies with ponies. While Z, do you bring a pony on your JetBlue flight? I don't know. It's like the Ark. They should call JetBlue Noah's Ark. But it's yes, up in Port St. Lucie. Yeah, Dawn Marie, I heard all about that. I mean, it's horrible, and it's not the first time that's happened. Remember they had like two killed by an alligator I think near Disney World a couple of years ago. Horrific. Liz Henderson, I thought the squirrel was the beginning. No, I didn't mean to tell a joke. I just say there's really truly a lot of squirrels around here, and then they have those white birds called I think egrets, egret, and they're really pretty looking birds, but like they walk in front of your car and they don't realize, get the hell out of the way. They like walk real. And I'm like, get out of the way, egret. But they just walk real slow, And then when you get a little close to them, Mr. Raven, I feed squirrels, and if I don't feed them, they leave a peanut on my doorstep. Oh, how wonderful. Look, the bottom line is I don't want any mammals that haven't been invited to come into my house. And if you start feeding squirrels near your house, they're going to come in next thing you know. Noah's Ark and all the people that get miraculously healed in the sky when they get off the planes. Dawn Marie said that. Coyotes kill pets here in Vancouver. They do it in Westchester too. We actually had a black bear in Westchester that's been seen every once in a while. You don't want to see a black bear in your yard, but it can happen, as they say. 165 in the chat. 139 with the thumbs up is police off the cuff crime stories. Backyard beverage, coffee with Cannon, bitching with Bill. Thank you, thank all of you guys for joining me today. It's on a beautiful Saturday. I feed the woodchucks now and then. Follow the grain in your own wood. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Follow the grain in your own wood. A dog on the edge of the water. If there were crocs in the water, well, I think you should maybe know not to do that. To walk your little dog along the edge of the water, especially places where there's alligators. It's almost like going fishing for an alligator. Keep little dogs away from the edge of the water, and then instead of the alligator targeting the dog, he grabs the lady. Crazy, It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. The regular crowd shuffles in. An old man sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. He says, son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. Oh, la-di-da-da-di-da, la-di-da-da-di-da-da-da-da. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you got us feeling all right. All right, sang a few bars. I purposely kept it low, but in a low pitch, because I didn't want to get up real high and then struggle to hit those notes on a Saturday afternoon. So it's, we actually climbed to 201 in the chat during that song. People waiting to hear me sing a tune and just jumping in. Finally, a great song today. Thank you, Supreme. People left after I sang that song. They sang a few bars of the song. I saw a guy, he was on Facebook, and he went to my high school, but he was my friend's older brother's class. I think it was like the class of, I don't know, maybe it was like 68 or 69. And he was a really good musician. And I think he worked his whole life as a musician, played the accordion, bars, played piano. And he was singing that tune, Leave On. And I remember him singing it in a bar in my town, like 40-something years ago. Leave On sells cartoon balloons in town. calls out Jesus because he likes the name, and he wanders to the finest school in town. Leave on likes his money. He makes a lot, they say. He spends the days counting in a garage by the motorway. He was on the pulpit to his son on a Christmas day. The New York Times said God is dead and the war begun. It's a great tune, great tune. Liz Henderson, unless there is a concerted effort to change past behavior, future behavior, yeah, we'll that. I didn't have as such poetic words as you had, but that's so true. Also, early Elton John tune. Yeah, that was a great tune, right? Need some Metallica. What do you guys think I am? I see a lot of folk tunes here, and someone says, "I want to hear some Metallica. I want to Black Sabbath. I want to hear Blue Oyster Cult." You know, those were like Long Island bands. One of them, Blue Oyster Cult, I think it was. Love stinks. Love stinks. Yeah, yeah. What a great tune. Magical Mary, thank you for $4.99 super chat. Very much appreciated. Kim Al, Sergeant Bill, real coincidence. The street musician sang piano man on Friday in our town center. It's a great tune. It's a great sing-along tune. He wrote that. Joe wrote that in California. He was actually playing at a piano bar before he made it big, and that was a huge hit. Still is today. Still is a great tune. All right, guys. I'm going to start saying my goodbyes. So tonight, 8 p.m., myself and Mike Geary will be on. We'll be discussing the Murdaugh case. Actually, we shouldn't lose sight of it. The double murder of his wife Maggie and his son Paul, and him testifying. That's what we're going to discuss tonight at 8 p.m. So hopefully you can join us. Guys, have a wonderful day. I'm Bill Cannon from Police Off the Cuff, Backyard Beverage, Bitchin' with Bill. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great day.